It's time for Media Meltdowns, and MSNBC is set to rebrand to MS Now in hopes of boosting its disastrous ratings. So, in memory of one of the most far-left divisive networks in America, we are bringing you an MSNBC extravaganza of unhinged lefty lunacy, starting with Joe Scarborough, who made this declaration less than 18 months ago.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth.
Okay.
And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
The truth, of course, plenty of that on MSNBC. And it's sad that they got rid of Joy Reid. You know, her analysis was always insightful. Here she is reporting that inflation isn't something that impacts every single American. It's actually just a word that Republicans have sort of made up.
The people I ever hear use the word inflation are journalists and economists, right? So that is not part of the normal lexicon of the way people talk. So it's interesting that Republicans are doing something they don't normally do, right? Which is not use the common tongue, right? Not use just common English to sort of do on their campaigns like they're doing with crime. But what they've done is they've taught people the word inflation, right?
Okay.
Most people who would have never used that word ever in their lives are using it now because they've been taught it.
Republicans have taught the American people the word inflation. Well, here is Joy Reid with some breaking news, discovering that summer is hot.
We begin tonight with the lucrative politics of climate collapse and the greed that is literally letting our country burn. Today, millions of Americans from Iowa to Maine are suffering through heat warnings, watches, or advisories. Cities across half of the country, like Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Detroit, Philly, and now New York, are hitting temperatures exceeding 90 degrees Fahrenheit, though it feels closer to 100. Many of these cities could experience heat indexes hitting 105 degrees by Sunday. These increasingly oppressive hot days aren't a coincidence. They are the predictable impact of the climate crisis. And they're not just an inconvenience, they're also killing us at higher rates.
Okay, it's too much. But who could forget MSNBC's coverage of the 2024 presidential election, which was more like rolling coverage of comparing Donald Trump to Hitler.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally.
Yeah, charming stuff, MSNBC, despite all the backlash, the disastrous ratings, and, of course, the election result that saw Donald Trump win in a landslide. MSNBC's Rachel Maddow, who's on around $25 million a year to bring you quality journalism, will not back away from her big scoop that democracy is over in America.
We have a consolidating dictatorship in our country. And it sounds melodramatic to say it.
Yes, it does.
But just go with that for a minute.
Joining us now is Jeff Crouere, broadcaster and commentator. Jeff, I'm so sorry I had to put you through that by bringing back some of MSNBC's best or worst moments, who knows. But looking back at MSNBC's coverage, what do you make of it? Do you think the rebrand is going to help this network?
No. the network, I mean, you did what we really should do with MSNBC, and that's just lampoon them. I mean, it's just so ridiculous that these people consider themselves journalists. I mean, Joe Scarborough has no credibility. Joy Reid, she was so bad she got let go by the network. And, you know, Rachel Maddow has been, raising alarms for years now. And so, this rebrand, I don't think it's going to help their ratings. They're doing very, very poorly. And I think it's so bad that NBC doesn't want anything to do with them now. So they telling the network to get rid of the NBC in the title, call themselves MS Now. For me, it's MS Never. I mean, it's just a joke of a network.
Yeah.
But hey, it's good. It's good comedy. It's good comedy.
Yeah, well, you're not alone. MS Never. I kind of like that one. Well, Donald Trump has blasted the rebrand and he did not hold back.
Then you turn to CNN, which is fake news and nobody watches it, or MSDNC, they changed, MSNBC, they changed their name now because they were so bad. But they're the worst, owned by Comcast, run by a guy named Brian Roberts, who doesn't have a clue. He's terrible, terrible manager. But they're not, I don't think, selling it. They're changing the name because they're ashamed of it. And they're disassociating it from NBC, which is also fake news. You know, they should be ashamed of that too.
He's right, Jeff. They're changing the name because they're ashamed of it.
You know, he knows television. I mean, for all of his years on The Apprentice, I mean, NBC should be so good to Donald Trump because he made them so much money when he hosted The Apprentice on that network for so long. But they're one of the worst networks in covering him. I mean, all the mainstream news networks are just terrible. So he really is always standing off about the fake news because the media here is just so biased. I mean, they're all afflicted with Trump derangement syndrome. It's really amazing. They're having a difficult time because he's having a very successful second term. So they're very unhappy.
Isn't it crazy? They're unhappy and Trump is making America great again.